Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at how the TEQ Baby Unit does in the Broly Red Zone. Now for those of you obviously may be wondering, I don't usually take a look at how general banner units do in super tough content unless there's either A, something specifically that they are really good at, or B, something that they like particularly excel at, like they basically facilitate a team performing, or they're able to push that team, like Strength Recruitment Gildo, who are obviously great as a unit. Now for me, obviously, I think that when we look at specifically TEQ Baby, I think he's pretty solid. He is obviously way better against hybrid Saiyan units, and I think that is just something that you have to accept to a certain extent. Hybrid Saiyans or pure Saiyans, he's way obviously a completely different unit, and I think that's something you have to anticipate. You can't really do too much in terms of like debate about whether Baby is a viable unit without these buffs. I think he's distinctly average if he's not facing a pure Saiyans or a hybrid Saiyans enemy. It's not that he is terrible, it's just that he's not got anything special about him. However, when you face a hybrid Saiyans or a pure Saiyans enemy, you get a lot. So for example, obviously we have the key +3, the 150% attack and defense, the 100% attack and defense when performing a super attack, but we get an additional defense of 100%, guaranteed attacks to hit, guaranteed crits, and guaranteed stuns when there's a pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans category enemy, which is pretty big. Then on top of that as well, you get an additional key +3 and attack of 180%, which makes him pretty good, as you can see, hitting some pretty nice attack stats. You're able to build them full additional because you're prioritizing this one category, and they're always guaranteed to crit, so he does good damage. Not to mention, he greatly raises attack and defense for one turn. What this means is essentially he now sits in this position of being really strong defensively after he fires off his super attack, and that's something that I think, at least for me, is definitely something that's really good. I think Baby, in that sense, excels as a unit. I think he really brings to the table a really strong, yes, specific unit that's specifically good against a certain type of enemy, but he brings a really strong position against them. Overall, he's in this kind of space where he's really good. So for me, if I'm being honest, I think personally he's just great. I think he's really solid. I think he's incredibly good. I think he carries himself really well, and for me, at the end of the day, I think this position for him is something whereby he's going to be a unit that you can rely on. Like, that's why I like him in this space against Broly. He's reliable the whole way through. He's really solid, great damage dealer, solid defensively after super. He even has type advantage against the final phase. Is he going to rock every red zone? Not really. The Turles one he can also do pretty well. Obviously there's a couple other stages like Fighting Legend Goku's GTs and that. But at the end of the day, if you're a new player and you're wondering if you can use Baby to complete some of the harder stages, you can. Baby can do certain stages as long as he's got some of his buffs active. He's actually a really good unit. I mean, you can see how he's doing here, bringing some good consistent damage. He's not had any issues really tanking at any ways, shape, stage, form, or anything like that. And I think overall he's in a really good space. For me, I would say that Baby is, at least for an extreme team, a good facilitating option for the Broly stage, and for whatever red zones or any tough events that come out featuring a hybrid Saiyans or pure Saiyans. he's a boost. He doesn't have anything in his passive that's restricted to GT, only that he's facing a pure Sans or a hybrid Sans. So you can bet on him being a very solid option in the realm or that space of when he is facing them as an enemy. And I think that's good enough. It's obviously not maybe ideal. Everyone would like units that they could use in a variety of stages. But I think with extreme units, sometimes getting a unit like Baby is not the end of the world. Because the thing is he at least stays somewhat relevant against pure Sans or hybrid Sans. The only thing I would like is if they'd given him some kind of damage reduction or evasion. Anything to help facilitate like some kind of defensive structure against pure Sans for the long run. Because then that means that in future he can scale quite well. Kind of like the TEQ God Goku, who's obviously a great unit, who scales well because when he faces movie bosses or faces pure Sans, then he has kind of this foundation of damage reduction that kind of enables him to do a really good job. So there's just something to contemplate. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm critiquing him in that sense. I just think there's definitely that kind of zone or space whereby I think they could have just done one little bit extra, because he has actually great consistent offense against pure Sans or hybrid Sans because of all the crits and everything, but he just needs like it would have been nice to give him a little bit of a kind of soft landing when it comes to defensive security. With that being said, I do think he's really good. I think he's quite solid. Really like what he brings to the table. And overall I'm pretty happy with his performance. I think he works quite well on the Terrifying Conquerors team, which is one of the stronger teams in the game when it comes to just overall performance. And I think he's there. He at least belongs on a couple of the higher level extreme teams, and he can be a facilitating option, even just floating, because he doesn't have any build up, which is something that's quite nice. So you don't have to have him in second slot like I have. You can prioritize a stronger unit but have him just floating, and then he'd be fine. That's kind of the thing. He doesn't have much build up. He doesn't have something that you have to strategically facilitate him with. So I think for me, that's one of his strengths. He's just straight. Starts out strong, remains strong. Very good. So that's it from me. See you guys in the next one. Till then, bye.